Gig tomorrow in Rutland, Vermont. It is not our first time in Rutland, but our first time at this theater. So I'm looking forward to seeing a new place. It's going to be fun. Rutland's not very far from me, so I'm driving myself, not going to be in the van again. It feels like kind of a one-off because we have another at least 2 weeks break after this. So this show's coming at a time when we've had some time off and we'll have some more time off. So it's a little break in the break, I guess you could say, but I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun, and yeah, we'll see how it is. I'm going to change my strings, pack up my stuff tonight, so tomorrow I can just get up and not have to think about any of that stuff. So let's do it. Got the guitar on the workbench behind me, getting ready to change the strings. You're going to notice that I use my phone as a tuner for this. No joke, it's actually better than those Snark tuners, man. Those things suck. They're always off from our stage tuners by a few cents here and there. So I just stick with my phone tuner. It legitimately is actually more accurate, at least for what I'm doing, and it's always closer to our stage tuners than the Snarks are. I don't know why, but I'm anti-Snark. That is something that I am not afraid to say. I guess I probably won't be getting any brand deals from Snark, but I guess if they make a better tuner and send it to me, I'll try it. Tools of the trade here, my string winder. It's not necessary, but I change strings enough that it kind of is for what I'm doing. I mean, I'm changing them once a week, or if not more, sometimes twice a weekend. Of course, the strings, the Magnum Slinkies, wire cutter, and some paper towels if it's a little dirty, but it's clean right now. So that's what I use. Let's get this going. I wish I could change my strings this fast for real. That would be nice. Okay, done with the string change. I want to say a couple things, but the main thing on my mind during that string change was, if you couldn't tell, I don't really baby my gear. I'm not a believer in babying guitars and keeping them looking fresh. I like when they get worn in. I like when they're road worn, but I also think in my mind, an instrument's meant to be played. It's meant to be used. And I use these guitars real hard. They're on the road, and I bang them around, and I think that's how it should be. I'm not like, you'll never see me babying them. I do clean them before and after a gig. I wipe them down. I oil them when they need to be oiled, and I take care of them in that way. But I'm not light on them. I use them hard, and I'm not really a believer in keeping them pristine and stuff like that. And a lot of the tricks of the trade and tools of the trade, I don't really abide by a lot of them. I guess it's sort of a Malcolm Young-esque mindset. The other thing I was thinking of is I don't really have any special string winding technique or anything like that. I don't really feel like that makes that big of a difference, like the luthier's knot or anything like that when I'm actually stringing my guitar. I don't really do anything like that. I kind of just wrap them, make sure that the winds are going under the string, and it works as well as anything. I've never had an issue. So if you ask me, a lot of that stuff is sort of, not necessary. Some of these tricks and tips that people will tell you, I don't believe a lot of that crap. To me, you find a nice guitar, it works well. It should just work. You should be able to bang it around. Yeah, a lot of these issues, a lot of times are self-inflicted. And that brings me to my next point, which is that I have to stretch these strings hardcore. I stretch them out for a good 10, 15, sometimes 20 minutes until it stays in tune. I really stretch them hard, and it makes a huge difference. If you don't do that before a gig, you're likely to go out of tune a lot. But if you stretch the strings, and when I say stretch them, I mean lay the guitar down and yank on the strings, retune it, and keep doing that. That's all I do, but it makes a huge, huge difference, bigger difference than pretty much anything else. And as long as your guitar is set up nicely, that's really all you got to do. You don't have to go crazy with tips and tricks. It'll work if it's set up nicely. That's a big, that's a big if. All right, if you can't tell, I just got out of the shower, about to hit Dunkin' Donuts, get on the road. Probably won't check back in until we get up there. But yeah, it should be 2 hours and 50 minutes, so really not too bad of a ride at all. Got the gear all loaded up, ready to go. My personal bag's in the trunk, and yeah, let's hit the road. This might be the Boston in me showing, and I promise they're not paying me, but there is just nothing better than a giant Charles River water iced coffee to start a drive. There's just nothing better. forgive me for vlogging while driving, but there's just nothing better than driving through Vermont. I'm like really out here in the middle of nowhere and there's no one around, and it is just awesome. Well, I am about 30 minutes away from the venue, but I just had to get out and check out this river. It's just awesome. Look at this. There's nothing better than this. And I get to play a gig tonight. It's the best. It's important to me to take those little moments and just stop. If there's something cool, get out and take a look. You know, that's what this is all about, right? New experiences and things like this. So yeah, if there's something cool on the side of the road, I'm stopping and I'm gonna take a look at it. In this river, there's rocks that the water's flowing over. It's just beautiful. It's serene and perfect, and it gets me in a good headspace for the show. So I'm glad I stopped. So I know Vermont's different than Arizona, obviously, in more ways than one, but driving up here in the wilderness like this just makes me miss it real bad. I mean, being able to just drive out into the desert out there and have nothing around you, and then drive up to the top of Mount Lemmon and be in a place like this that kind of looks like Vermont, and then be able to drive back down to the desert where it's 100 degrees is pretty unique. It's an experience that you really don't get many other places. First view driving into fabulous downtown Rutland. No, it's cool though. Okay, made it to the theater. You're going to be seeing it for the first time just like I am. So let's get in there and see what it's all about. Here we are in the green room for the first time, just as I'm seeing it. You come right off that elevator and enter right here. Go straight ahead. Got a couple of rooms here. Really nice. Look at this. There's me. Here's my stuff. Just put it down. Plenty of space. I'm guessing they do plays or productions or things like that here. But it's always real nice to have a comfortable setup like this. So this will be perfect to hang out in. We're a little bit earlier start time tonight of 7 p.m. I think, instead of 8, which is our usual start time. So we actually don't have to hang out in here for as long as usual. But look at this. Big dining room where I'm assuming we're gonna eat later. It's awesome. So we'll do a little bit more exploring, and yeah, we'll catch you in a little bit. Some real greats have played here. I mean, sharing the stage with people like this is just awesome. We've been on the same stage. If you can believe it, I've been on a stage that Jimi Hendrix has stood on, Led Zeppelin, Johnny Cash, and you'll actually see that gig later this summer, which is an incredible room up in Hampton Beach in New Hampshire. But standing on a stage that the greats, my heroes, have stood on is kind of a spooky feeling. It's, you know, it's hard to even put into words, but it's meaningful, and I'm just really lucky. Look at this, Chubby Checker, Little River Band, Buddy Guy, Little Feet, Steve-O. So you're all obviously familiar with the process here somewhat, but we're just getting set up, all the gear's getting loaded in. You can see our guitar cases. This is actually the first time I'm seeing this theater myself, so I'm just taking it all in. And look at this, really nicely detailed. You know, I noticed that a lot of these old theaters in towns that you probably wouldn't go to are just really nice, and it just took someone to take charge and rebuild them from what they were kind of in their dilapidated state and really make them cool. So, I mean, just look at that. You don't see many places like this anymore, and it's nice to have, you know, the opportunity to play here and see these theaters kind of come back to life, and I think that's really cool. Here's a little walkthrough from the front door. This is what it would look like if you bought a ticket. Not really much of an entryway. I actually was wondering if there was another way to get in myself, but cool little balcony action here. Kind of reminds me of like Ford's Theater or something. The balconies are super close to the stage, which is kind of funny, but it goes really far back. That was the one thing I noticed. Like, it doesn't really look like it does from the stage, but it just keeps on going. Looks like we're just about ready for sound check. I gotta get up there. I'm really excited to hear what this new system we're using sounds like. We're doing a completely new in-ear rig and a new mixing console, and we had a rehearsal with it last week that sounded incredible. It already sounded good, and now it sounds even better, so I'm sure we're going to play better, sound better, and it's just going to be a better experience overall. So I'm looking forward to getting up there and hearing what it sounds like on a stage for the first time and not a rehearsal room. Another quick look at Soundcheck here. We were really dialing in the new sound system, so I kind of didn't want to put you through all that misery. It took a long time, but as you can see, we did what we had to do. Soundcheck done. It was a longer one because of that new sound system. It was a little weird at first, but we did well with it. Just, dialing everything in and hearing the differences on a stage for the first time is a little jarring, but we did it and it'll sound good, and overall it's a lot better than it used to be. So all right, we have just about an hour before showtime. We just got done with dinner. It's felt like a fast day. Like, I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's an earlier show, but we're just like dinner, hour before show, and then go. I guess normally we have more time to relax, but this is fine. I don't hate it, but it is a little different. So I'm just trying to get my head straight, trying to relax, and I will be getting dressed pretty soon. So the stage is all good to go. We're still working out the new mix a little bit. I know we're down to the wire on it. It's not going to be perfect tonight, but it'll improve with every gig. And he's playing the bass and messing with some on-stage plugins to get a good sound. So maybe it's because it's our first gig back in a while, but something just feels a little different about it. I feel like I've just had less time overall. We're a little bit more, it's just like figuring out the new mix. The earlier start, things are a little herky-jerky, it feels like, but we'll make the best of it, and we'll make do. It's going to be a good show still. I'm psyched. The theater is awesome. The design is really cool. It reminds me a little bit of the one we did a couple weeks ago. Not North Carolina, the one before that. Anyway, it's going to be good. It's going to be a great show. It just feels a little bit different on a personal level. Here's a look at the walk into the green room, actually. I realized I had not spent much time at all down there, so it looks like at this point it was finally just about to be relaxation time, which is nice. And this was a big little green room area, backstage area. Plenty of room for activities, if you will. And here's a look at Matt's guitar, and I don't know if I show my guitar, but yeah, here's his Angus's #1 style SG, the 61. All right, some of the audience is in their seats. The doors are open, and it's just about to be showtime. Let's see if we can get a sneak peek, shall we? Scary. I'm not supposed to be out here, but that's okay. I just got to fix my set list, make sure I can see it, and then I'll be pretty much... Fortunately, I can't get the mix from the soundboard tonight. It's the first time we've used that new setup, and it's just way too hectic to even try to record anything. So we're dealing with the stage audio, but I'll do what I can to clean it up. But next time we'll get some good audio, and it'll sound even better with this new setup. It sounds incredible. We just got to figure out how to actually get me the recordings. So. stage. Honestly, the mood back here is pretty dire, to say the least. I think it went pretty well, though. But there was some serious kinks that had to be worked out with the new sound system. It was crazy. I mean, it's hard to even explain, but at one point, it sounded like the kick drum was going to explode and do like a Keith Moon special on us or something. So Nate, our manager, had to run on stage and fix that mid-show. So, you know, little things like that here and there. But I think we played well, and the audience obviously didn't notice. So, you know, that's a plus. But we're hard on ourselves. You know, it's hard not to be when you're playing in front of that many people. You want it to be perfect. So some kinks to work out. Overall, the crowd enjoyed it. Good show. And, you know, now we have stuff to work on before next time, things to iron out. So it's actually a win overall if you look at it that way, which you have to, otherwise you'll drive yourself crazy. So time to get packed up, get the guitars in the case and all cleaned up, and loaded into my car. Let's do it. Here's one thing I do after shows that actually makes me feel really good. Give the guitars a wipe down. You walked in on me wiping my guitar, Matthew. I'm sensually wiping my guitar on camera.
Shit. Well, I'm even a good time.
You have to take care of the instrument that takes care of you. A wise man once told me that. The wise man is our bass player, I think. This is what we do after the gig. What's going on? Wow.
Hi!
Husband and wife. No. The calm after the storm. The stage is clear once again and ready for the next act coming through, and we're just about to get out. Well, loadout completed in record time. That was only like 45 minutes. It's only not even 10:30 now, which is kind of incredible, leaving a gig that early. A lot of the times back in the day, our gigs don't even start, or wouldn't start till 10:30. So being able to be done now and have an early night doesn't suck. All right, hitting the road out of Rutland. I'm actually really excited for this drive. I know that sounds crazy, but I just love driving in the dark, throwing a podcast on and zoning out. I don't really know why, but like it's one of my favorite pastimes. So anyway, after a bit more reflection, I think it really was a solid gig. You know, the new sound system is a little weird. It's really fucking awesome, but it's just weird to use one new for the first time at a gig like this. So there was some kinks we had to iron out. We had to do a quick mic change for the drum set on stage. Yeah, all things considered, I mean, you can hear from the video, I think we sound pretty good. There's nothing like egregious. So, you know, I think it boils down to us being perfectionists and really wanting to just be perfect every night. And that may be unrealistic, but that's kind of the pursuit of every musician, I think, and every live performer. So we fall into that same trap, and you know what? It's not a bad trap to fall into, but you got to remember that at the end of the day, if the audience likes it and it sounds good, it's a victory. So, you know, I'm going with that for now. My God, I was stuck behind that truck for about 45 minutes. It was just brutal. But look at this bridge. This is pretty cool. I think I came through it on the way up, and yeah, some cool Vermont scenery. That's all she wrote. I made great time getting home. It's like 12:45, so earlier than I thought, and I didn't even speed that much. But anyway, guitars are inside. Gonna get the rest of my stuff from the car, and we're gonna call it. Solid gig, solid day. Paramount Theater, thumbs up. Awesome theater, great staff, cool little town up there, man. I like it up in Rutland. It's cool. Anyway, yeah, solid Friday night gig. I guess we'll catch you next time.